32, Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
For the 20th time in school history, your Fighting Tigers of LSU are back in Omaha for the College World Series.
This All Eyes on Omaha coverage is presented by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
It's an all-SEC showdown as the LSU Tigers face the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Brought to you by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
And now live from the center of the college baseball universe, here's Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Ameristar Casino Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa, just across the Missouri River from Omaha, Nebraska. It is the 75th edition of the College World Series in Omaha, and we are here to get you ready for LSU and Arkansas tonight under the lights. It is going to be quite a spectacle inside Charles Schwab Field. We're here from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock to get you ready for it and could not be more fired up to do it. I've been in Omaha since Thursday, got here, set my things up at the Ameristar, went over to watch LSU practice, do a little review session there, then kind of went out on the town a little bit on Thursday night. Yesterday, day of action. Saw two incredible baseball games. I made it over for the nightcap to watch Oregon State in that ball game get a dramatic walk-off win against the Louisville Cardinals. It was kind of a blast and a treat to go into the ball as just a fan and not go in there in the press box and not go in there living and dying with every pitch like 2 years ago with LSU in Florida when I was lucky enough to be here. I watched 6 innings, came on back and watched the end of it from the hotel room. An awesome, awesome environment that, quite frankly, as I tweeted out yesterday, was loaded with local Omaha residents. That was pretty apparent based on the attire of everyone. There's a smattering of colors, and you saw the little pockets of the school's fans, and then you could tell when a big play happened, you could tell who was really supporting him. And it was these small little pockets of Oregon State fans and Louisville fans. Oregon State did a pretty good job of traveling. They had probably a couple thousand on hand. You look at Louisville, I didn't see as much Cardinal red. But I don't think that's going to be the case tonight as far as the locals carrying the crowd. There is going to be a ton of purple and gold here. There is going to be a ton of Arkansas red here. Earlier today, I got up and went to Barrett's for lunch, and I got there at like 10:50. They open at 11. I was trying to make sure I could eat, get back here to set everything up to do the radio show at 2. And I walked in a couple minutes before 11 o'clock when they let us in, and 15 LSU fans came filing in with me. And by the time I left Barrett's at 11:40 this morning, it was packed with LSU fans. The Bloody Marys were going, the cold beers were flowing, and I expect it to be quite a festive environment inside Charles Schwab Field tonight. And it's going to be a monster baseball game. And like I said, we've got 2 hours here to get you ready for it and fired up to do so. In 30 minutes, we're going to talk with Peter Flherty. He covers college baseball for Baseball America. Peter came on with me a couple of weeks ago to preview the regional round. Excited to get his takes on what we saw yesterday and what we've seen thus far today. We'll preview all. So Andrew Hutcherson from the Best Marketing Sports, good buddy, is awesome enough to give us some time at 3 o'clock. So we'll preview Dave Van Horn's team with him coming up at 3. And then Michael Cauble from WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge will be with us from the ballpark at 3:30 to kind of set the scene. Be getting close to wrapping things up with UCLA and Murray State, who are underway from the Chuck right now. And so we'll talk to Cauble at 3:30. Very, very excited for all of this. Appreciate y'all for locking us in and appreciate our great sponsors for making this show a possibility. This game is massive. And something that happened yesterday was, I thought, an indication of just how big that first game is. Coastal Carolina comes to Omaha with 3 weekend pitchers who have had great seasons. I don't care if it's Sun Belt. I don't care if it's SEC. I don't care if it's Big Ten. I don't care if it's the Southland. Like, when you have 3 weekend guys, and in the first game in Omaha, you go to 2 of them, and they did. They threw Riley Eichhoff for 4 innings. They came back with Cameron Fluke right after that, and he pitched 3 innings. So you used 2 of your weekend starters to try to lock down that first game. And they did against Arizona. It took some effort. They got their closer in the ball game. Arizona was scrappy, came back and made things interesting. And finally, Coastal Carolina gets the big swing late in the game, bases clearing double in the right center field gap to win it. And Coastal still has Jacob Morrison to go to on Monday, and he'll start the game on Monday, I'm confident. But that's the amount of emphasis that Coastal Carolina put on winning that first game. They used 2 of their weekend rotation guys to get it done. And I've given you this stat a bunch over the course of the week. Shout out to Chris Marler over at LouisianaSports.net for pointing this out and looking it up. Only 4 times in the last 45 years has a team lost its College World Series opener and gone on to win the national championship. 4 times in 45 years. We have seen LSU in 2017 and 2023 come out of the losers bracket to reach the final. They didn't get it done in 17 against Florida. They did get it done against Florida in 2023, but that loss in the second game, so you only needed to go win 3 in a row. You lose this one, you got to win 4 baseball games in 4 days starting on Monday. That's the issue in front of Arkansas and LSU in this game. So because of that, these 2 coaches are not messing around at all. They are going with their guy in the first game. Zach Root will take the baseball for Arkansas. Cade Anderson, it was announced yesterday, will take the ball for LSU. I talked yesterday on my show about the thought process of I thought it would be Anderson, but I gave the case for Ianson with the full understanding that I thought Anderson would be the guy that Jay Johnson went to, and that's going to be the case. I want to talk about Zach Root first. Zach Root for Arkansas transferred in from East Carolina. He was their number 2 last year. For those that don't remember, East Carolina had Trey Savage, a first-round pick in the rotation last year, so Root backed him up as the number 2. He transfers to Arkansas, and his stuff is played up there in Northwest Arkansas. It's a guy who is sitting 94, 95, 96 with his fastball, touched 99 against Tennessee last week, and he's got a big looping curveball that he can throw for strikes, and he's got a great changeup that I think is his best pitch. And right now, he's throwing the ball as well as anybody in college baseball. You look at his 2 postseason starts against Creighton and Tennessee. Against Creighton, Zach Root, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed. He struck out 7 and walked 1. Came back in the biggest game of his career against Tennessee in the Super Regional, and he was a man possessed, both in the way that he pitched and the way he acted on the field. He goes 7 innings in that game, only gave up 1 hit against the Vols. He gave up 2 runs, only 1 of them was earned, 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. So if you put those 2 outings together, that's 13 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned run in those 13 innings, 13 strikeouts, and 3 walks. He is a really, really good arm. Now, LSU got to look at him 5 weeks ago in that early May game. He pitched very well in that game, got through 6 innings. LSU got him for a pair of runs, really did the damage against the bullpen when Jimenez and those guys came in late in the game. And the Tigers won it in extra innings. But Root was very good, and he is, of course, left-handed, which has been a bit of an issue for LSU. I think the Tigers did a good job last week against Griffin Kern, the left-hander from West Virginia. That's a very different challenge. Kern's fastball is 90. I don't think his off-speed stuff is very good at all. I told you that on my show last week. I said, look, this guy never has a bad outing. The most earned runs he's given up all year was 4. He never has a bad outing. But his stuff doesn't look that great, and it didn't look that great. West Virginia decided that he was out of gas and pulled him a little bit early in the heat last Saturday. But LSU did a pretty good job against him. This is another challenge really altogether. 1, it's a much better pitcher. 2, it's a much, much, much better defense that Zach Root has behind him. They lead the nation in fielding percentage. West Virginia's defense is atrocious. And 3, it's a much more difficult ballpark to hit in. So it figures to be a pretty low-scoring ball game with these 2 guys on the mound. I think Zach Root's a very, very, very good pitcher, and he'll give LSU some trouble at times tonight. Now, Cade Anderson gets the ball, and as of this time last week on Saturday morning before he took the ball on Saturday evening, I was just feeling so good about Cade Anderson and the way that he was rolling along. If you were listening to my show the Friday before the Super Regional, I said, look, there is no reason to think that Cade Anderson is not going to go out there and give you 6 2/3, 7 innings of 2-run baseball. Like, he's just been that good for that long. He's flying up draft boards for a reason. LSU should be as confident with him on the mound as anybody in the country is with anybody else on the mound. And I still feel that way, but last weekend was a little bit eye-opening. And you can determine whether or not you think his line is concerning. There are a lot of variables that go into the fact that Cade Anderson gave up 7 runs last week, 6 of them which were earned. He was doing well through 5 innings. They scratched the early run with some manufacturing. They got a couple of hits, got a bunt down, got a ball that scored a run. They did what West Virginia does, and they manufactured an early run. And then he settled in and really set them down. And then when LSU's offense exploded in the 5th and the 6th inning, and they put up the 11 runs that they did there, and he had to sit around and wait for 40 minutes at a time on the bench in a hot environment, like, one, the scoreboard dictates that you're not going to be as fine with your pitching, and two, you got to sit around and you got to have a rhythm a little bit, and it was really hot. So I don't know if I'm making excuses or if he just didn't have a very good outing. I can tell you this. The Cade Anderson that we talked to after that game was not in a good mood at all. He was ticked off about his outing. We talked to Cade again on Thursday in the press conference. He was still locked in, still very focused. He was asked one question. Hey, Cade, do you concern yourself with the weather conditions, the ballpark when you're pitching? And he just looked bold-faced and goes, I do not. He's locked in. He's focused. He's super talented. And you hope that he gives you a wonderful outing. If you look back to his outing against Arkansas back in early May, he was pulled in the 6th inning with that scary little wrist injury. I honestly had kind of mentally buried that until I dug back into the box scores from that Arkansas series when this matchup was finalized last weekend. I went, oh, yeah, I forgot it. Almost midnight on a Friday night, Cade Anderson had to come out, and I thought his season was over, and I was terrified because anytime your ace walks off the mound with a trainer, it's not great. And it turns out it was just a little bit of a wrist cramp or soreness or whatever, tightness, whatever you want to call it. But Arkansas got him for 7 hits. He did strike out 10. And here's my key for Cade Anderson tonight. This is the deal for Cade tonight. Arkansas is going to hit some balls hard. They just do that. They are among the best offenses in college baseball. And if you look at some of their numbers against left-handed pitching, it's very eye-opening. They are the best left-handed hitting, best team hitting against left-handed pitchers in the Omaha field. Aaron Fitz got a great piece up on D1 Baseball that's got the splits for the teams against right-handed and left-handed pitching. And Arkansas is 4th in the nation in on-base percentage plus slugging, so OPS, 4th in the nation in OPS against left-handed hitting. They're 16th against right-handers. They're just good anyway, but they're 4th in the country against lefties, and they rough Liam Doyle up. But here's what Cade Anderson's got to focus on. Arkansas strikes out a lot, even against lefties. They're 163rd, first being the best you can be, the fewest strikeouts. They're 163rd in the country in terms of strikeout rate against lefties. They strike out 20% of the time. When they hit that double in the gap, when they line a single over the shortstop's head, when they hit a home run, but when they're going to hit the ball hard and get some guys on base. Cade has got to get some strikeouts in some big spots. You got to leave runners on because it's not realistic to think that Cade Anderson is going to take the ball in Charles Schwab Field tonight and just shove it down Arkansas's throat for 7 shutout. If he does that allowing 2 hits, I'll be thrilled. No one in that stadium will be happier than me. Maybe Jay Johnson. But that doesn't really happen with this lineup. It's just too good. But you can hold them down to 2 runs, 3 runs if you get the big punch out with 2 or 3 guys on base. And Arkansas will strike out. So I think it's a big, big deal for Cade Anderson to get those punch outs when that opportunity presents itself. There's a lot of swing and miss in the game for Wahiva Aloy, the SEC Player of the Year. And you can get some of those other guys as well. You can strike out Brent Iredale for sure. You can get to a couple of these guys. The strikeout is a huge, huge equalizer for Cade Anderson in this game, and I think it's going to be massive to see if he can't get him in the most crucial times tonight between LSU and Arkansas. Man, I'm fired up for this baseball game. Fired up for the rest of this show as well. In 15 minutes, we'll talk with Peter Flaherty from Baseball America. I want to come back and talk a little bit about LSU's offense, and we'll do that when we come back on this special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
Keep your golf game sharp in the comfort of your own backyard with Louisiana Turf Company. Our greens look great, roll great, and react great. Don't be fooled by the competition trying to sell you some glorified boat carpet. Trust the pros and golf experts at LouisianaTurf.com. That's LouisianaTurf.com.
This is Tim Harris, President and CEO of RES Contractors. We're a proud partner of Industry Makes and the New Orleans Pelicans. At RES, we're a full-service industrial contractor. Fabrication, mechanical, electrical, and more. We're passionate about the essential manufacturing plants in Louisiana. Think about it. Your food, clean water, medicine, clothes, phones, cars, homes. Louisiana Industry makes it all happen. And remember, let others make noise. We'll make everything else. Visit industrymakes.org. That's industrymakes.org.
Sun's out, scales down.
Get ready to feel confident all summer long with Lake Urgent Care's medical weight loss program, now more convenient than ever. Choose from 2 powerful medications, semaglutide or tirzepatide, and enjoy the freedom of an at-home experience with just 1 easy monthly check-in. Whether you're beach-bound or just beating the heat in Baton Rouge or Denham Springs, our team helps you stay on track with expert guidance and real results. Visit lakeurgentcare.com to learn more and start your weight loss journey today.
When life throws you a curveball, know that you're not walking alone. I'm attorney Robert Lucky with the Lucky Law Firm, and we are here to walk this journey with you. With us, you aren't just a case number. We believe you deserve the best, and that's exactly what we'll fight for. You deserve to get lucky.
Call 866-9-LUCKY-1. Call a Lucky Law Firm.
LA 2417787. Responsible attorneys Robert M. Lucky and Michael T. Malinowski Jr. Actual results may vary. Paid Jingle Singers. Primary office in Baton Rouge.
Did you know there are more than 18 million cancer survivors in the U.S.? At Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Institute, our attention to your care goes beyond treatment. We're experts on cancer prevention and surviving, caring for our patients with compassion and the best resources long after the last treatment. We know how big this journey is, and we're here to make sure you have everything you need, which is why we continue to be the region's leading cancer treatment destination. Learn more at ololrmc.com/cancer.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the Law Office of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve the problem. Whether it's a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The Law Office of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
LA filing 231-6026.
Life's too short to wait for great pizza. At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with delicious, personalized pizzas at unmatched speed. Whether you're a busy professional, a family looking for convenience, or an out-of-towner exploring downtown, Town Square Pizza is where quality meets the speed of preparation. We're the perfect grab-and-go spot before spring and all the events at the River Center. Visit us downtown on North Boulevard or online at townsquarepizza.net.
I took control.
I took control. We took control.
This is Chris Medina. Medine's Collision Center. Auto accidents can be overwhelming. Crucial decisions are made instantly. Where to take your car for body repair.
But doesn't my insurance company recommend a collision shop?
It's your right to choose a collision center. Don't let anyone push you.
Medine's not only repaired my car, but restored my confidence.
Log on to MedineCollision.com and read our latest blog. We are your accident advisors. And remember,
take control. Choose Medine's. Do you plan to travel part-time or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Tyler Juneau. In New Roads, call Dean Martin. And in Gonzales, call Gene Fremo.
SIPC.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hunt Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at the Ameristar Council Bluffs, Iowa. A lot of LSU fans coming in and out. Awesome bar and sportsbook set up in there. They're watching the U.S. Open, which got some LSU flavor. Sam Burns will take his first swing today with the lead in the golf tournament, and the College World Series is on as well. UCLA and Murray State in game one of this afternoon. LSU and Arkansas tonight, 6 o'clock from Charles Schwab Field, and we're getting you ready for it here. And I was thinking about LSU's offense as we were flying up here and considering the matchup today with Arkansas. And you know, if you want to be really optimistic, which why wouldn't you be? Last weekend was very good for LSU offensively. The Tigers scored 28 runs in 2 games. They collected 18 hits, hit the ball out of the ballpark a little bit, which was really nice to see. Notched 4 home runs in the 2 games. Of course, you had a couple of grand slams. That generally helps morale. But I just thought they did a good job. You can say that LSU was finding a groove late in the season. That would be fair to say. You could say that West Virginia's pitching staff stinks, and I think that's a very, very fair thing to say as well. Kern was out of gas. Apparently, Kartsanis was sick, and then the bullpen was not very good at all. But LSU made that count. They scored 28 runs in 2 games. The thing about today is you're going to be facing a really, really good pitcher for every pitch of this game. the conventional wisdom and the trend that we've seen the second half of the season is that Zach Root's going to start the game and go as long as he can go. Usually that's somewhere between 6 and 7 innings. And then after Zach Root's done, they'll go to Gabe Gackle. Now, Gabe Gackle was an ace reliever last year for Arkansas as a freshman. Just a young, talented dude with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and just a vanishing slider. Really, really good stuff. So Hagen Smith moves on, and you go, okay, well, this is our next talented dude. He's going to be the front of the rotation. And they tossed him out there to start the season as the Friday night guy, and it did not work. Gabe Gackle got lit up early in the season. He gave up 10 runs in his second start of the season. And you're just looking at this going, well, this isn't working. And so Dave Van Horn didn't just stick him there and tell him figure it out. He switched him back to the role he excelled in last year and said, you're going to be in the bullpen. And so when you get Root out of the game, which that's a big Jay Johnson thing, is like, hey, when you got a really good starter, the key is to get them out of the game. LSU last week, get Griffin Kern out of the game, then feast on the bullpen. And that's what LSU did. It's not really the same tonight because you're going to see very likely Gabe Gackle when Root's night is done, and he's as good a reliever as there is in this tournament. And then if they want to, match up with the left-hander, you've got Cole Gibbler, who's been completely unhittable as a freshman over his last 9 innings. They've been shut out, and he's given up 1 hit in his last 9 innings from the left side. He's got 53 strikeouts on the year and just 27 2/3 innings. That's just about 2 strikeouts an inning for the freshman left-hander. So you're going to see likely him at some point if they decide they want to go to Aiden Jimenez. That's a guy who has been really, really good for them all year. He's also started some games later in the season. And then Christian Fouch is a right-hander that throws 98 if they want to go to him. So there's not really a spot for in the first game of the tournament. Now, you get to Arkansas on Wednesday, you might be able to find a situation where you get to Landon Beidelshees or Ben Bybee. Some of these guys are a little bit more hittable. But tonight, when everybody's healthy and everybody's rested and everybody's ready to go, every at-bat is going to be a challenge for LSU tonight. Now, I could say the same thing for Arkansas because you're going to have, obviously, Anderson start the game. And the way Chase Shores threw it last week, why wouldn't you want to see see him again? You've got the opportunity, if you want to go to Case and Evans to close out the game. Zach Cowan's had a really good season. It's kind of gotten derailed over the last 4 or 5 weeks. His last 4 of his last 5 outings have been bad, but you've got real stuff coming out of LSU's bullpen as well. So the same thing could be said for the Razorbacks. But as far as LSU's offense goes, it's be interesting to see how the park plays. Last night, the park played pretty big. It can be a day-to-day thing. Last year, 2 years ago when LSU was here, you remember in the middle of the week when LSU played Tennessee and Wake Forest, wind was blowing in, really hard to hit. By the time you got to the weekend, wind started blowing out. Florida went crazy on Sunday, and LSU went crazy on Monday offensively. So we'll see how the ballpark plays tonight. But you're just going to have to hit the ball hard and low more often than not. I talked to Jared Jones on Thursday about LSU offensively and about the weather and about the ballpark. And he said, look, I think about it as I approach a game and you understand who you're facing, what the conditions are like, what ballpark you're playing in. But when you dig in, you're really just looking to hit something hard and on a line. And if you get a mistake, then you make a bigger swing at it. Now, I know there are a lot of you that are sitting there rolling your eyes out of your back of your head going, Jared Jones, he's out there trying to hit a home run every time. He strikes out all the time. Jared Jones had a pretty good Super Regional last weekend. He didn't hit a home run. He had a pretty good Super Regional. He did homer in the big game 7 in the regional. So that's just a snapshot of what you can tell the coaches are teaching LSU about playing in this ballpark. You've got to hit the ball down and hard. You've got to execute when the opportunity presents itself. If you get a leadoff double, you got to move him to third. You got to get him in. If you get an opportunity with 2 guys in scoring position and 2 out, somebody's going to have to get a big hit, and you're going to have to do it against real dudes. The game tonight is not to wait out a pitcher to drive pitch counts up because the next guy that's coming in is just as good for Arkansas. So that's kind of the approach for LSU offensively. Musso, I'll bring you in here as you're sitting back in the studio in Rouge. I led this segment off talking about the offense and about what they did last weekend. Where are you on they got hot, they're seeing the ball really well, or it was an offensive environment at the box, West Virginia's shot? Where are you on the confidence level on LSU's offense right now? A really tough matchup tonight. Musso, do I have you? I can't hear you. If we do, I don't have you coming back in my ear. So deal with that if you could.
Sorry, were you
I was distracted.
I'm asking what your confidence level is in the LSU offense based on what they did last weekend. I think that they swung the bats well last weekend, but that West Virginia pitching is not great. Where are you confidence-wise in what this offense is right now?
No, I'm with you there. I mean, what was it? 61 runs and 61 hits through the regional and the super regional. You got 18 hits a week ago, but scored almost 30 runs. West Virginia helped you out, but I like that they took advantage. I mean, championship teams, good teams, you take advantage of those opportunities. And I mean, if you looked at West Virginia, you knew that they were going to present those. I think the way LSU has played offense this year actually fits Charles Schwab Field really well. I mean, they have shown the ability to be more aggressive on the base pass, especially on dirt balls, the sack bunts, the squeeze bunts, even the sack flies. They just hit the century mark on homers a week ago, man. So, like, look at what Paul Maneri did whenever he just remade his lineup to not have guys hit it out because of this ballpark. Not saying LSU's that extreme, like you have Jones and Fry and guys who can run it out, but I think the way they've played actually plays into the park a little bit better than it has maybe in previous years under Jay Johnson. Now, I will say this, the offense has tended to go in a hole away from the box, and that does concern me, especially given the fact that you're going to face Zach Root in that bullpen.
If I gave you 5 runs, so you're going to score exactly 5, would you take that or would you go play the game?
I'd take that, especially Saturday night, because, I mean, you beat them 5-4 once already this season.
I think that's probably the magic number. I wrote this for LouisianaSports.net. Let me see if I've still got that stats page up. I believe I do. So the magic number for LSU has generally this year been between 5 and 6. If you look at the Tigers, when they score, when you score 6+, you're 29-1. So, 39-1. When you score 6+, you're 39-1. When you score 5 or fewer, you're 9-14. So the difference between 5 and 6 has meant everything for LSU as far as the opponent. When the opponent scores 6+, LSU is 9-10. When the opponent scores 5 or fewer, you are 39-5. So it's right there on that 5 to 6 threshold, and I think that's going to be an important number tonight as well. One thing, I'm starting to get pretty fluent in Jay Johnson-ese and interpreting the things that he says in his press conferences. And one of the things that he said 3 weeks ago, before you got into the region, it was during the regional. He said that he really, really, really prefers to play ahead in the postseason, even more so than in the regular season. And so that quote has stuck with me. And so don't be surprised if you see an early bunt from LSU. Don't be surprised if you see an early squeeze from LSU. Don't be surprised if LSU gets first and third with 2 outs and does a steal and stop and gets in a rundown on purpose so the runner can come home from third, and then you give yourself up at second base. Like, that's those types of plays to get 1 run are something that Jay Johnson prioritizes early in games in the postseason. He wants to try to score first. So just a heads up, if you see something like that, remember, this is Jay Johnson has said this. He wants to get that first run on the board, and we'll see if LSU can do that tonight. Appreciate y'all for locking us in here on this Saturday. We are live on ESPN Baton Rouge, of course, 104.5 and 104.9, and over on Eagle 98.1, the Monster Stick there. And the game will be broadcast over on Eagle 98.1. Pregame starting up at 5:30 this evening. It'll be myself, Bill Franquez, and Chris Blair on the call from Charles Schwab Field, 6 o'clock first pitch over there across the river from where I'm seated right now in the Ameristar Casino and Resort. We'll take a time out and come back with Peter Flaherty of Baseball America. We'll talk about this entire tournament, what we saw yesterday, what we've seen so far today, plus a preview of the Tigers and Hogs. That's all next.
Bayou Ford is taking $11,000 off MSRP with 4.9% for 60 months on the new 2025 F-150 XLT. $11,000 off MSRP on F-150 plus a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
When we make a deal, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. Shop BayouFord.com or visit us just off I-10 in La Place. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you. Several choose $9,500 discount, $1,500 retail customer cash. WAC.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built.
The government can be messy. That's why I'm focused on helping you. I'm Congresswoman Julia Letlow, proudly representing Louisiana's capital region. You may be having issues with the IRS, the VA, or Social Security. If so, I'm at your service because that's what representation is about, cutting through red tape to get results. If you're having issues with the federal agency, please reach out to me at letlow.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Be honest, is your ride ready for this heat?
That's not the heat I had in mind.
This heat is brutal, but you can be in a much cooler spot with Alpha Customs window tinting.
This is so much better.
Make things cooler with Alpha Customs window tinting.
Besides, what goes on in the cab stays in the cab.
Alpha Customs in Prairieville and Lafayette.
Also offering deadliners that start at $388. Wheels, tires, suspension, and accessories.
And everywhere at alphacustoms.net.
If you're looking for some time away, but you don't want to go too far, the Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a beautiful escape in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites overlooking the gorgeous LSU lakes. Whether you're here to shop or stay, the Cook Hotel at LSU is where you can find it all. Stay for the weekend, come by, grab lunch, or shop at their alumni gift shop. Visit thecookhotel.com to book your stay today. That's thecookhotel.com.
Hey guys, this is Todd from Rebel Heating and Air. Your heating and air conditioning system requires essential cleaning and care to ensure efficient and safe operation. Call Rebel today and schedule an appointment. That's Rebel Heating and Air, 929-8944. And remember, the bitter taste of a poor installation will remain much longer than the sweet taste of that lowest price. Call us today, 929-8944. That's Rebel Heating and Air, 929-8944. Or go to rebelheatingandair.com.
In our great state of Louisiana, we're known for our resilience and unity. I'm attorney Robert Lucky, and at the Lucky Law Firm, we stand by these values, fighting for what you rightfully deserve. Your fight is our fight. Don't fight the insurance companies alone. You deserve to get lucky.
Call 866-9-LUCKY-1. Call the Lucky Law Firm.
LA 2417786. Responsible attorneys Robert M. Lucky and Michael T. Malinowski Jr. Actual results may vary. Hey, Jingle Singers. Primary office in Baton Rouge.
Picture your dream bathroom. Got it? How about making it happen with David Duvall and One Bath and Closets? For more than 3 decades, David's been remodeling homes with a concentration on the most popular room in your home, your bathroom, whether it's a tub to shower conversion or a complete renovation. The great thing about One Bath and Closets is that David handles everything. One company, one contractor, One Bath and Closets. Check out the gallery of his most recent projects and schedule your free in-home consultation online at onebathandclosets.com. That's onebathandclosets.com.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hunt Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Murray State in some real trouble over in Charles Schwab Field as UCLA 6, Murray State nothing in the bottom of the 4th inning over there in the first game of the day. Winner of that game will play the winner of LSU and Arkansas on Monday evening. The loser of that game will play for its season on Monday against the loser of LSU-Arkansas. That'll be a 1 o'clock first pitch. If you're looking for college baseball content, which I'm constantly doing this time of year, folks, Baseball America do an awesome job. Peter Flaherty does a great job for folks over at Baseball America, and he's good enough to give us a little bit of time here on this Saturday. Peter, thanks so much for the time. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Start up for tonight.
Yeah, we are too. It's our pleasure to have you. Let's first talk about yesterday's action. You saw a really great 2 games of baseball to open the College World Series. It started with Coastal Carolina and Arizona. Your thoughts on Coastal's decision to go with 2 of their weekend starters, and ultimately it paid off because they got the win.
So it's an interesting choice, but the more I sat back and thought about it post-game, I thought that they perfectly executed what they were trying to accomplish. They used 3 arms. They went 4-4-1 with Eckhoff, Lukey, and Carbone. I mean, you got to win that first game. The importance of winning that first game is hard to overstate. And they have the pitching depth to be able to use a guy like Lukey first out and release Eckhoff. And I know on the surface it might seem that them, but heading into the second game against Oregon State, They've still got, Sun Belt pitcher of the year Jacob Morrison, who they'll ride probably until his arm falls off, as well as a handful of other key relievers like Ryan Lynch and Hayden Jones. So I thought, I can't speak as to what Coastal's plan was going into that game, but I thought it was perfectly executed. And Riley Eckhoff threw 45 pitches and was forwarding to work, so I'm sure he'll be ready to go if need be within a handful of days.
Yeah, I think that's probably the plan. It looks really good now. Do you think Coastal swings the bat ball enough to win a national championship?
Yeah, so it's obviously a pitching-centric team, which is different than the Coastal teams in recent years. The narrative around them was always, they can really swing it, but their lack of pitching depth is going to do them in June, and that was the case the last couple of years. But it's been the polar opposite this year. I think that while they don't have as much firepower as maybe last year's team or 2023 team offensively, they've got a handful of guys who can swing it, led by Caden Bodine. That top half of the order is really good. And they've just got 7, 8, 9 guys, depending on the day, who can put together quality at bats and stack quality at bats and just make it a really tough team to get 27 outs against.
Last night was a treat to sit in there as a fan and watch those two starters, the arm talent between Oregon State and Louisville. Ultimately, Oregon State gets the big swing after Louisville staged that great comeback. How are you feeling about the Beavers at this point?
That's another really tough team. I don't want to look ahead and wish time away in Omaha, but that matchup tomorrow night between them and Coastal is going to be a really good game. And it's a cold take, but whoever comes out of there is obviously going to be in the driver's seat to come to bracket one and play for a national championship. Oregon State's a high-quality club. What Dax Whitney did last night was incredible, even more so considering the fact that he's a true freshman. Obviously, the stuff he has, the high-end stuff, and the strike-throwing ability is special, but what stood out to me most is his composure between the ears. You guys know, and LSU fans well know, playing at Charles Schwab Stadium, you can feel huge. You can feel like the world's kind of crumbling in on you. And he looked anything but. He was, the slow heartbeat, really gather himself, just way beyond years, and that was really special. It's kind of scary to think he's a true freshman, and it's still 2 more years in the black and orange, but they're a really good team.
They very much are. Let's talk about LSU and Arkansas tonight. If I gave you the opportunity to start a game with Cade Anderson or Zach Root, which one would you personally take?
Oh, man, I'd take Cade. No disrespect to Zach Root. He's a great pitcher, but Cade Anderson's my personal SP1 this year's draft class. I'm a huge fan of his, and thousands of other people are, but he's just outstanding. The strike throwing ability is top notch. It's really high end and premium stuff. It's a legitimate 4-pitch mix, all of which really flash, especially fastball, slider, and curveball. The slider's been a revelation. But he's a big game pitcher, and I know that Coach Johnson's sitting in there right now, thrilled that he can hand the ball off to him to get things rolling in Omaha, especially in a not must win, but in a really important game one scenario against a really talented team like Arkansas. I don't think there's anyone on the planet you'd rather have till the rubber.
Maybe Paul Skeens. I think he might he might re-recruit Skeens. But Cade has been phenomenal. Chatting with Peter Flity of Baseball America, getting you ready for LSU and Arkansas this evening. What do you like about Zach Root's game?
Yeah, man, you watch him on the mound and he pitches his tail off. He's a really, really high-end competitor, and he kind of switched it into another gear last weekend at Baum Walker against a supremely talented Tennessee team. The fastball had a little extra giddy up. He's up to 96, 97, 98 with it. Slash that trademark big breaking ball, kind of loopy curveball, but it's got some teeth to it. And then, the changeup has long been his most valuable weapon at the plus pitch. So it's another guy that fits into that bucket of strikes and stuff. And I think with Root, the intangibles really stick out. The competability, the composure between the ears. He's, again, like I led into it, he's going to pitch his butt off. He's not going to be a guy who is intimidated by the bright lights of Omaha, the environment. He's not going to kind of let people cave in on him. I think that's going to fuel him and help him rise to the occasion. So a really good matchup on tap.
How do you think it goes tonight?
I got LSU winning. I think I along with a lot of others, I think believe the winner of tonight's game could end up being the eventual national champion, and that's how I feel. I think LSU wins. I think it's going to be a really tight, high-quality, professional type of baseball game. I think LSU gets maybe one or two more timely hits and a quality start from Kate Anderson, and they win, I don't know, 5-3, 5-2, 5-4, something in that kind of range. And they feel really good about heading into the winner's bracket game, probably against UCLA.
Yeah, I'm watching that game right now. One of the things that is standing out is I just saw a picture of the flags, and they're whipping in from center field, and that's the prevailing wind this time of year in Omaha. So we'll see how this thing plays out tonight. Curious your thoughts on UCLA. I have a hard time kind of placing them because the new Big Ten schedule and what that conference record actually means and those statistics actually mean as opposed to their previous Pac-12 schedules. But what do you think about UCLA as far as their talent goes and what their chances are to get out of this bracket?
Yeah, this is a team that's much more reminiscent of Coach Stafford's team from the early 2010s and mid-2010s and late 2000s. It's a kind of a classic West Coast team. You can probably see it today with how they're playing. They're not afraid to play small. I mean, they'll have Rock Salowski, who's National Player of the Year type of guy, first and third situation. So they'll play small. They'll try and speed the game up on you. It's a lot of guys on the mound who are, they really know how to pitch. It's kind of, the Pac-12, but it's in the mold of an old Pac-12 team. It's a staff that's chock full of advanced pitchability guys, know how to stay off the barrel, and it's a strong lineup that I think is deeper than people give it credit for. But I will say, whether it's Arkansas or LSU that they're going to have their work cut out for them. Again, maybe I'm sitting here eating in a handful of days, but I find it really hard to imagine that the winner of tonight's game doesn't come out of this bracket.
We'll certainly see. Should be a classic inside Charles Schwab Field tonight starting at 6 o'clock. Peter, we certainly appreciate some time. Enjoy the baseball.
Likewise, guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
It is our pleasure. He's Peter Flaherty of Baseball America. He shares a very, very common belief that the winner of tonight's game is the favorite to go win a national championship. I think you could probably a lot of folks on that train. It's just hard to overstate how important this game is because one of the best teams in college baseball is going to hit the pillow tonight, understanding their season's on the line on Monday and that their odds of getting out of this bracket have greatly diminished because they're going to have to start on Monday and win 4 games in 4 days. The winner of this game goes into a Monday matchup, very likely with UCLA, with a really good pitcher on the mound, whether that's Anthony Irons for LSU or Gage Wood, likely on the mound for Arkansas, and a chance to just absolutely grab this bracket in a stranglehold before you get another day off on Tuesday. So it's just an absolutely massive game, and I think the environment's going to be sensational. Talked about this right at the show open for those that are just catching us, whether you're on Eagle 98.1 or on ESPN Baton Rouge or on our YouTube stream where we've got a bunch of folks locking us in. Last night was a very local heavy crowd. I could tell being in the stadium, it was just a lot of Omaha residents who were kind of cheering everything. Everybody had different colored shirts on. Tonight, I would imagine, this is a guess, but it's an educated one because I've now been here and watched games in the stadium 3 times. I'm guessing LSU and Arkansas are going to have 70% of that stadium tonight. I mean, Omaha is going to come out. Like, Omaha loves this event. They cherish this event. This is the opening weekend. The weather's really good, even though it's warm. Like, they're going to buy tickets, and they're going to come sit in the outfield and do what they do in the summer here in this great city. But LSU and Arkansas are going to have 70% of that place. I was at Barrett's earlier today. The Bloody Marys were coming fast and furious at 11:15 a.m., and I'm sitting right here looking in this sports book at one table of Arkansas fans and a few table of LSU fans who've got their refreshments that are coming down pretty quickly as well. And it's going to be real wild because everybody knows the weight of this game tonight. It's just very, very obvious. And both head coaches are going with their top dude to the best lineups in the country, and it's going to be a sight to see. It's not anything new to LSU fans and Arkansas fans. LSU did this with Oregon State a couple years ago. LSU did this with Wake Forest, where you have just the 2 biggest, most high-profile brands in the event going head-to-head in a primetime game. And this time it's the opener for both of these 2 teams on a Saturday night. So I cannot wait. There are 2 guys that I think are huge keys for LSU tonight. I'm going to talk about both of them when we come back to wrap up our first hour of the Hunt Palmer Show.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses. 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers. The popular 18-hole Webb Park and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org. If you live in Louisiana, you know what the dozens of plants up and down the river mean for our state's economy. And since 1982, Action Industries has been committed to providing quality construction, maintenance, operational, and consulting services throughout the refinery and petrochemical industries. When it comes to safety and quality, Action Industries beats the industry standard. Call today or visit actionindinc.com. That's actionindinc.com.
Why call 2 men in a truck? If you're like most people, you're moving and you work hard. You've got lots of stuff, no time to move it. You need pros, trained, professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. A team who will work hard and get the job done right. People who care about your things as much as you do. Time is of the essence, and you want it done fast. That's why you call 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. Visit 2meninatruck.com today and get moving.
2 men in a truck.
Is your closet organized? Let's face it, most closets are cluttered and a hassle to organize, but that's just because they aren't designed around your specific needs. One Bath & Closets works closely with you to design your space where it makes sense for you and clears the clutter away.
There you go, yeah. Have a heart out.
You don't have a heart out here, but do you want me to count you down anyway?
Yes, let's just keep it on the clock.
Okay.
Room and now closet remodeling. Visit onebathandclosets.com to sign up for a free in-home consultation. That's onebathandclosets.com.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hunt Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up our first hour, special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, getting you ready for LSU in Arkansas. We're broadcasting live from the Ameristar Casino in Council Bluffs, Iowa, just across the river from Omaha, Nebraska, less than 5 miles from Charles Schwab Stadium, where I'm headed. Right when we finish things up here at 4 o'clock, I will break all this down and head over to Chuck, as they affectionately refer to it, and I'll go jump in with Chris Blair and Bill Frank call a baseball game tonight, and it's going to be a big one. And 2 guys that I'm looking for in this game for LSU, I wrote about this LouisianaSports.net, one offensive and one on the mound. It's Derek Curiel and Chase Shores. The first of those is Derek Curiel. Now, I looked this up this week, and it was jarring. Like, sometimes you go look for a stat, and it doesn't say what your eyes may think that you've seen, and sometimes it really illustrates a point. Derek Curiel in wins for LSU this year is 71 for 179. That is a 397 batting average for Derek Curiel when the Tigers win. He's 12 for 60 when they lose. That is an even 200. The difference in Derek Curiel's batting average in LSU wins and LSU losses is 197 points. Now, last week against Griffin Kern, West Virginia's ace left-hander, Jay Johnson dumped Derek Curiel into the bottom third of the lineup. He responded by hitting a 3-run homer and getting on base 5 times. That's what he is. And so I have a hard time believing that against this left-hander in Zach Root that Derek Curiel is going to go back down to the 7th slot with Josh Pearson leading off. Maybe it happens. Maybe they're playing the numbers. Curiel's not had a great year against left-handers. Pearson is statistically much better against left-handers, and maybe Jay Johnson just rides that like he did last week. I would be surprised. I just have to think that Derek Curiel is going to be in the leadoff spot tonight. Jay Johnson twice last week referred to him as the engine that makes LSU's offense go, and it just is. I don't care if it's left-handed or right-handed. That guy needs to be in there and making things happen. He needs to be hitting right in front of the guys that produce runs. And I don't know what they're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5. You've seen Daniel Dickinson in there. You've seen Jared Jones in there. You've seen Ethan Fry in there. You've seen Stephen Milam in there last weekend because he's slinging it so well, and he'll be hitting right-handed tonight against Root. I don't care what that order is either, but those guys are LSU's run producers, and Derek Curiel needs to be hitting in front of them. So that's my thought on the whole deal. He's got to be involved in the lineup, and I think he's a guy that's got to be huge for LSU tonight. On the mound, this is an interesting deal with Chase Shores and how they decide to use him. He's an immense talent. He was brilliant in his last outing to close out the Super. He stunk in the regional and walked the bases loaded and gave up 4 runs on 1 hit. So I don't know what you're going to get from him, but it feels like it's going to be important. And I don't know if it's tonight to close the game out. I don't know if it's tonight as the first guy to the bullpen after Anderson's done. I don't know if it's not until Wednesday and he starts a game. Like, I'm not sure what this looks like. Is it Zach Hess that he morphs into, who came out in 2017 as LSU's dominant 100-mile-an-hour closer who was getting 5 and 6 outs at a time? Like, is it that role, which he could fill? Like, he's got that profile. Or is it Nate Ackenhausen, who LSU calls on in a Wednesday or game or Tuesday game? Hey, we need you. We're out of starters. You got to go. And maybe that's the spot for him. But in any event, it feels like Chase Shores is going to have to do something special for this team to advance. Tate Anderson and Anthony Ianson can't get every out. Jason Evans can't get every out. So I feel like Chase Shores has got to be a part of that. Musso, I'll let you kind of butt in here. Just throw a hypothetical. Cade gets you through 7. He's at 118 pitches. He's coming out of the game. You've got a 2-run lead. What are you doing with the last 6 outs?
I'm probably going to Casey Evans in that spot. The last time you didn't see him. The last time Evans didn't pitch for a week plus, he went out there through 6 shutout and punched out 12. That was against Little Rock. I understand it's Arkansas, but I like that kind of tandem. Just being the guy you trusted at the back of the game the most outside of Zach Cowan this season. I am intrigued, as you are, with Chase Shores because that's the best he's looked in an LSU uniform a week ago, closing out the Super Region. Like, that's the best the sinker fastball has looked. He flipped the changeup in there that was great, and the slider was tight and crisp. I would love to see him continue on that momentum, but in a big game, and Hunt, you talked about this earlier with what Coastal Carolina did, using their 2 starters. I'm going with Anderson, who's been your best, and if you have a lead late, I'm going to go to Casey Evans, who's been one of your most, if not your most, consistent relievers all year long.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all, and I think that's very reasonable. I think it's possible that happens. So Arkansas got after Kaysen a little bit in a start in Game 3 of that series on Mother's Day, but that was a while ago, and this is a shorter stint. They're not asking to go 6 innings in this hypothetical, maybe just 2 or 1 to close it out. And theoretically, if you play this game and win it, and then you throw Ianson out there against UCLA on Monday, and maybe you come back with a couple of different relievers, you wouldn't necessarily need Evans again until potentially Wednesday. So that's a guy that is going to be a bullet in the holster for LSU as well. There are options. There's a lot of talent. We know that the bullpen can be LSU's Achilles heel, especially when they lose the strike zone. But the good thing about that Achilles heel is I'm telling you that Achilles heel does involve Chase Shore's 101-mile-an-hour fastball, does include Kason Evans, who just threw 6 shutout and struck out everybody in the ballpark, does include Zach Callen, who was unhittable for 2.5 months, does include Cooper Williams, who has been phenomenal in his last 5 or 6 outings, does include a lot of guys with a lot of talent and a lot of ability. It's just not there every single time, kind of like it's been for Anderson and Hutchinson whenever they take the baseball. So if you're going to have a weakness, it's good to know that weakness is built on a lot of talent, and LSU's weakness is built on a lot of talent, and those guys are going to have to show up because, like I said right before we toss it to Musso, they're like, you can't just give the ball to Anderson and Hutchinson to get every out. Once you get to Omaha, you're playing a lot of games in a short and condensed period. Everybody's got to step forward and be at their best. It's a good park to pitch in right now because it's big and it's blowing in. So throw it over the plate and let your defense go to work. These are 2 elite defenses, 2 elite pitching staffs in terms of their stuff. And great offenses as well. It's just going to be an absolute classic tonight in Charles Schwab Field between LSU and Arkansas. That's it for hour number 1 here on this special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. When we break for this timeout, we'll come back, and Andrew Hutcherson, Best of Arkansas Sports, will preview things from the Arkansas side. Still got to hear from Michael Cauble as well from WBRZ down in Charles Schwab Field. He has watched the team get on the buses about 15 minutes ago, so we'll get a scene setter from Cauble there across the river in Omaha. Appreciate you for locking us in, whether you're on 8.1, you're on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, or on our live Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube stream. Getting ready for Tigers and Hogs tonight from Omaha in the College World Series on this special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The temp is up, but the prices are down at High Neighbor. Fresh Louisiana crawfish tails, 1 pound pack, $11.99. Just in time for Father's Day, USDA T-bone steaks, $6.99 a pound. Fresh center cut pork chops, $2.49 a pound. Chilton County local peaches, $1.69 a pound. And don't miss our 3-day sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with savings store-wide. At High Neighbor, our customers tell it like it is.
The meat is beautiful, and sometimes you can get some really, really good deals.
Hi, neighbor.
Warm weather is here. Make sure your AC is ready. Call my friends at River City's 1 Hour Air and schedule your AC tune-up and rejuvenation and get $30 off for a limited time. They'll keep your system running cool and efficient all summer long. And don't forget the Moscona special. Save $25 on any cooling or heating repair. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Jake and James here from Trash Rangers of Louisiana with more messages from our customers.
Mary writes, I just wanted to thank you for sending the text messages the night before to remind us to put out our red can. With the kids being out of school for the summer, our schedule is more lax, and we've almost forgotten twice now, until we got your texts.
Mary, we're all in this together. We're glad we can help, and we appreciate the kind words.
Be like Mary. Be happy with your trash company and make the switch to Trash Rangers today. TrashRangers.com. That's TrashRangers.com.
If you're looking for some time away, but you don't want to go too far, the Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a beautiful escape in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites overlooking the gorgeous LSU lakes. Whether you're here to shop or stay, the Cook Hotel at LSU is where you can find it all. Stay for the weekend, come by, grab lunch, or shop at their alumni gift shop. Visit thecookhotel.com to book your stay today. That's thecookhotel.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown.
River Parish Contractors is South Louisiana's leader in industrial construction and turnaround services. They employ loyal, local talent who are dedicated to quality projects that are safely executed on time and done your way. With River Parish Contractors, they can assist you with industrial projects that stay within budget and on schedule. What sets them apart is their ability to respond and get the job done right. Come take a tour of their impressive facility in St. John Parish or visit rpcontractors.com. Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers. The popular 18-hole Webb Park and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Rex courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
Do you plan to travel, work part-time, or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Jamie Levine. And in Donaldsonville, call Matt LeBlanc.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is 1-643-872-323. LA funding number 16-7970.
Donaldsonville and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge.
Eagle 98.1 WDGL and HD1 Baton Rouge. This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hunt Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt Palmer in Council Bluffs, Iowa, the Ameristar Casino and Resort just across the Missouri River from Omaha, Nebraska, where tonight LSU and Arkansas will get things started from their perspective in the 2025 College World Series. It's a big one, and we're getting you ready for it right here on a special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Let's break things down from the Arkansas side. We'll go to Andrew Hutcherson, our guy from Best of Arkansas Sports. Good enough to give us a little time pregame, joining us from the Jim Farms hotline. Andrew, we appreciate your time. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here in the stairwell in Charles Schwab Field. I'm waiting for the first.
Yeah, it's going to be just a lot of sitting around and waiting over the next 3 hours for LSU and Arkansas fans and those of us that are covering it as well. Tell me, like, from Fayetteville, we're talking 6 hours to Omaha. What kind of crowd are we thinking from the Hawks tonight?
Yes, about a 6-hour drive. I actually made it this morning, so it's not too bad at all. And we saw on the drive up this morning several Arkansas fans making their way north to Omaha. So I think it's going to be a pretty big crowd. I mean, it may be the bigger crowd maybe ever here because you got the teams that traditionally have the largest crowds in LSU and Arkansas. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing kind of what this crowd looks like tonight.
Yeah, I've talked about it a couple times over the first hour of the show. I went last night for about 6 innings of Oregon State and Louisville. Oregon State brought probably 2,000 or so. Louisville just a little bit less than that, but a lot of Omaha locals in the crowd last night. I don't expect that to be the case tonight. I think LSU and Arkansas are going to account for most of the environment. It should be a fantastic one. Zach Root will get the baseball for Arkansas. Is he throwing it as good as he's thrown it all year over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's taking his game to another level this postseason. I actually wrote I don't know if he read what I wrote, and he's inspired because I wrote something after the regular season. And he got the first team nod over Ianson. And I actually wrote something like that. That's not happening. Ianson was way better for LSU this year. He should have been a first team LSU selection. But then since I've written that, he's been incredible. He wasn't great in the SEC tournament in Hoover, but he also had to get 5 outs or 6 outs in the first inning from Arkansas defense. So the first time ever this season just completely disappeared. But in the postseason and the regional and the straight, and especially in the super regional against Tennessee, he was incredible. I don't know if any LSU fans had a chance to watch it, but I mean, he was chirping at Tennessee, giving a little bit of Tennessee face-to-face medicine. That's some choice words that you can't repeat on the radio. And I mean, he reared back and on 99 miles an hour for a strike right by Andrew Hutcherson. And he had never thrown before that game. Had never thrown a pitch harder than 97 in college. So it came out of nowhere. So he's throwing them good. I'd like to see him maybe keep in the motion. Just a little bit more respect tonight, but if he's throwing as well as he is, then hey, you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm curious what your gauge is on what his emotional state will be. I'm not sure what the beef was with Fisher in Tennessee, but do you think that carries over to tonight?
I think he'll pitch with an edge, but I don't think it'll be quite as emotional. Because, I mean, Arkansas and LSU is a tremendous rivalry. Don't get me wrong and everything, and it's going to be intense, but there's just something about playing Tennessee. As I'm sure LSU fans know, there's just something a little extra. They get a little bit under your skin, and it just means a little bit more to shut them down. So I don't think he'll be quite as demonstrative. I could be wrong on that, but I mean, I haven't seen that from him in any of the other outfits he's had this year. He definitely put it out, and nothing quite like that though, where he was, I mean, borderline, to the point of if an umpire seeing what he was doing, maybe get ejected. So I think he'll be a little bit more under control. I mean, they've been one set after the game like that. I'd like to see him keep his emotions in check a little bit more. Like keep his emotion and not quite like that. So I bet there's been some conversations between then and now, and he'll be a little bit more under control.
I talked in the first hour about Root and then about Gabe Gackle, who generally has kind of been the next guy in at the bullpen. Give me another X Factor arm for the Hogs tonight.
Oh, man. I think those two have been – the formula has been to just use those two in the first game. If they have to go to another arm, I could see I know lefties sometimes get LSU trouble, so Parker Coyle would be another guy. He's not a hard-throwing guy. He's a guy that's been really effective for Arkansas. I could see him being a major factor today. Cole Gibler's a freshman, another lefty that doesn't throw super hard. I mean, neither one of those guys is going to throw harder than 92, 93 miles an hour, but have really good off-speed stuff. Gibler's got a slider that's almost unhittable. Those are two guys I would keep an eye out for if they decide to try to go just roll some lefties at you. The Gackle is so good as a right-handed arm that I bet he's still a guy that they go to if they try to get spots to try to finish out of that.
Kind of pick your poison for LSU with the Arkansas lineup. Lloyd's obviously the SEC's Player of the Year, but who's another guy or two that you feel like could come up with a big swing for Arkansas tonight?
I mean, Charles Badland, that's a big spot. The guy from Montreal, Canada, he's been tremendous all year. Really set the tone at that leadoff spot. He's a guy. Cam Kojal has been swinging the bat really well. The second baseman, transfer from Vanderbilt, been really, really good. So is Ryder Helfrich, the catcher. He's probably until I think the second game of the Tennessee series, he had probably been the Arkansas hottest here. Like up to that point, over his last 11 or 15 games, something like that. He was hitting like 450 and had like 6 home runs or something like that. He's been really, really well. So those are guys that kind of come to mind. I mean, Logan Maxwell's a decent batting average, I think, and he could be a guy. That being said, it's really secret poison. There's really not a just glaring, gaping hole in this lineup. Even the guys that aren't hitting super well at the bottom of the lineup, guys like Brent Iredale, he was hitting well over 400 earlier in the season. Hasn't gone well since SEC play started, but he's got the potential to hit it a long way, and he also gets on base a lot. Makes him reach out the net, gets on base. So there's a lot of links to this lineup.
No question, one of the best lineups in the sport for sure. I'm curious about the mental side of this for this Arkansas program. We talked about this entering the weekend series against LSU, but they do have to play with the weight of knowing how often Dave Van Horn's been to Omaha and has not gotten to the end of this thing. Does that matter at all? Do you think that's a psychological deal for this Arkansas program?
If it is, I think it is in a positive way. Because I think they saw how emotional Dave Van Horn got after the Super Regional. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I mean, I've never seen Dave Van Horn get as emotional as he was after Arkansas pushed their spot in the College Series in that game press conference. And I mean, I looked over at the players as Dave was choking up. I mean, the players had tears in their eyes. I mean, they truly love their coach. They really want to get him over the top, but they're not out there playing like a lot of these guys. I mean, there's a handful of guys on the team that are from Arkansas that grew up Razorback fans, but a lot of these guys are transfers that are from, Cam Coach, I mentioned he's from Omaha. Logan Maxwell, I believe, is from Ohio. So you got guys from all over. Canadian, Australian, or a couple of Hawaiians, Evo Lloyd. So they don't have the weight of the Arkansas kind of curse, per se. Like, they'd probably have seen the 2018, what happened back then, but they don't have the weight of that on them. So if there's a little extra emotion or whatever, I think it's going to be a positive impact rather than the other way around, where fans, I mean, they're going to be puckered up.
That was my next question. Like, not that it matters, but what's the psyche of the Razorback fan right now? Because they're playing so well, but they've got some demons up here in Omaha.
Yeah, they're nervous. I mean, I think they're like, oh, of course we get LSU. The other, everyone would agree these are the two best teams left in the tournament, and they have to play the first day. Like, of course this would happen. I think there's a little bit of that. Of course, there's been some interesting moments in the history of Arkansas and LSU. And you guys have voodoo magic going on. Not being an Alex Fox, maybe it's not so much, but it is a kind of a usual thorn in their side. They played better against LSU of late, but I think there's some nervousness there and also some confidence because, as you said, they have been playing really, really well. So there's some fans that are super confident, like, oh yeah, this is going to be, this is our year. And then there's also some fans who are like, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop and see what the next heartbreak is.
I think both fan bases would have probably signed up to play Murray State instead of the other, but such is life. Tonight should be electric inside Charles Schwab Field. I'll see you in the press box tonight. Enjoy the baseball. We really appreciate the time today.
Yeah, anytime.
That's Andrew Hutcherson, best of Arkansas sports. It's the Arkansas baseball deal is so fascinating to me. The only parallel I can draw personally to it is the Cubs. Like LSU baseball was winning national championships when I was crawling. Then barely. And then LSU football won when I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't go through those lean 90s years with as much emotion as I know a lot of you did. And then basketball's never climbed that mountain, but never really knocks on the door either. So the only thing I can personally relate that to is the Cubs, who just had heartbreaks and never gotten over the hump. And there was a thought that a lot of Cubs players in postseason played tight because they knew the weight that was on them with breaking the longest route in professional sports. And the Cubs didn't have near the success in getting to the actual World Series as Arkansas has done getting to the College World Series. They've been his 8th trip to Omaha with Arkansas. And it's right now, he's very much this generation's Mike Martin. Like, he is a coach that does a brilliant job, that puts a great product on the field every year. They had one bad year a few years ago. They had 1 year they were terrible. But every other year, they're really good. Sometimes they're the best team in the country. Sometimes they're top 8, top 16. But they're a threat every single year, and they just haven't gotten it done. And, of course, what happened with that drop pop-up in 2018 still completely haunts Razorback fans to this day. They had a ball in the air in play to win the national championship. It falls between 3 Razorbacks. Then Oregon State gets the game-tying hit, and then it's the home run to take the lead. And Arkansas was so shell-shocked by that, they came back the next day and didn't score a run. Oregon State beat them and won the title back in 2018. So it's an interesting deal, and Arkansas probably as a fan base should feel really confident because I think this team's playing the best baseball in the country right now. But as I've told you a bajillion times, if you've listened to me, momentum in baseball is just about worthless. I sat literally, let me do this math here, 35 feet from where I'm sitting right now in 2023 on that Monday. And I said, I know that LSU just got beat by 1,000 by Florida, but it doesn't matter today because it's nothing to nothing. And I felt that way, and it poured itself out. Like, Florida responded the day previous after a gut-wrenching extra innings loss with the Peloso home run. They came back and played a great game the next day because it just doesn't matter. I came to that realization in the media when Stony Brook came to the box and had a lead in the 9th and gave up a homer to tie it, and had a lead in the 10th and gave up a homer to tie it, and had a lead in the 11th and gave up a homer to tie it, and then got walked off in the 12th the next day. As heartbreaking as you can have for game 1, they came back and won 2 straight games. Like, it doesn't matter day to day. So what Arkansas did last week against Tennessee doesn't really matter, and what LSU did last week against West Virginia doesn't really matter. The deal with these two teams today is they're really good, and the team that plays a great game tonight is going to win the game. And I believe there's a stronger likelihood that one of these two teams comes out and just plays phenomenally and wins than one team comes out and plays like garbage and kicks it around for 3 errors and walks 11 guys, and that's why they lose the game. I think the team that wins tonight is going to be a team that plays a great game. Reuter Anderson's on their A game, bullpen striking guys out, a couple of huge hits, and that's how you win a 6-4 ball game. Like, that's how I think this thing's going to go. Which side comes out on the other end, I'm not sure, but it's going to be fascinating to watch. We've still got 45 minutes left to go. We'll chat with Michael Cauble in 15 minutes to get a scene setter from over there in Omaha. Appreciate you all for listening in on this Saturday. We're getting you ready for LSU in Arkansas on the Hunt Palmer Show.
Oh, these polymers flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from B66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Father's Day is Sunday, and if you haven't found a gift yet, don't panic. Just come to Macy's Father's Day sale for gifts that'll make Dad say, "This is perfect." Shop designer polos from Lacoste and Tommy Hilfiger, 30 to 50% off. Watches from Citizen of Bolivar, 30% off. Fragrance gift sets, boxed and ready to give. Even a 36-piece Cuisinart grill set, now half off. Hurry in. Father's Day is this Sunday, and this sale is happening now at Macy's. Savings have already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Looking to beat the summer heat and improve your golf game? Get to Golf Tech Baton Rouge. Call 225-308-3934 or visit golftech.com to book your session. Golf Tech Baton Rouge, where better golf begins. Now open on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood? Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Well, I guess along with those sizzling steaks, we do have wood-fired oysters and scallops, beautiful sea bass, fresh Gulf fish and shrimp, and rich Ora King salmon. So yeah, Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Jefferson Highway across from Palermo Ristorante. Tell Leo that Kevin sent you. Don't forget, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Come and see us.
River Parish Contractors, South Louisiana's superior local team, with a 32,000 square foot structural steel and fabrication shop. Come take a tour and experience their automated structural and pipe fabrication processes that provide time-efficient, precise, and economical products. When it's time to get building, get River Parish Contractors. To learn more, visit rpcontractors.com. That's rpcontractors.com.
Struggling to lose weight? Feeling overwhelmed by diets and exercise plans that just don't work? There's a better way. Unique Physique offers weight loss injectable medications. Semaglutide, now only $195 a month, and tirzepatide is only $325 a month. The lowest prices in town. No contracts, no gimmicks, just real results without the hassle. Visit uniquephysique.com or call today to schedule a consultation and unlock your weight loss potential. Unique Physique, your weight loss solution.
Hey guys, this is Kellen Martin with First South Farm Credit in Zachary. When you're in the market for land, you want a lender who can give you the most options. At First South, we understand what it means to own your own piece of land. Maybe you're ready to get out of that deer lease and get your own property. Or maybe you just want 10 acres to build a home on outside of the city. Whatever it is, call me, Kellen Martin, at First South Farm Credit in Zachary. Or find us online at firstsouthland.com.
At Lewis Mechanical, no plumbing job's too big or too small, and we have the best technicians around. Lewis Mechanical specializes in both commercial and residential plumbing repairs.
Lewis Mechanical, keeping plumbing humming.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hun Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Game one of this Saturday in the College World Series is in the middle innings. It's UCLA and Murray State. UCLA jumped out to a 6-0 lead over the Racers, who are in their first College World Series in program history. UCLA is back for the first time since winning a championship in 2013. It was a disgraceful College World Series that only featured 3 home runs, including 0 by the champion UCLA, who hit like 212 in their way to a national championship. Since the park has played a little bit more fairly, the game has evolved a little bit, and I rather like the ballpark now. But back then, it was a travesty, and UCLA took advantage of it to win in 2013. But John Chavez has his team back, and they're in control of this ball game. It is 6-2 over there at Charles Schwab Field. UCLA has gone to the bullpen to their second pitcher of the ball game. It looks like they're in control of this game and should move into the winner's bracket on Monday. LSU fans are very, very aware of a lot of things and how this thing works in the College World Series, but I do want to break down how this schedule works and how LSU can navigate this week. If you win tonight, you play on Monday in the evening to take control of the regional, and if you win that game, you get another day off, and you don't play until Wednesday, and you have to win Wednesday or Thursday. So that's the beauty of staying in the winner's bracket. If you win the first game, play at night on Monday. If you win that one, you get another day off, and you only have to win one of two on Wednesday or Thursday. If you lose today, you play Monday afternoon, and you have to win Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 in a row. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday if you lose tonight. If you win tonight and lose the night game on Monday, you have to turn around and win Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the advantage is twofold in the winner's bracket. One, you have to win fewer games, and two, you get days off. And if you can go 3-0 in your bracket, you would then your schedule would be Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and you don't play again until Saturday. So you can really rest up. And here's how that works from a pitching perspective with your ace. Here's Cade Anderson's schedule now, because we saw this with Paul Skeens and Rhett Lauder back in 2023, and y'all will certainly remember that. Cade Anderson pitches today. He will rest on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. If you get to a game 7 of this bracket, it's just like a regional. And if you get to the final game where it's the winner take all, then Cade would be able to pitch on 4 days rest on Thursday like Paul Skeens did in 2023 in that game against Rhett Lauder. Lauder was on the same rest as Skeens. If Cade Anderson pitches today and LSU can win tonight and Monday and then come back and win on Wednesday, Cade Anderson would pitch in game 1 of the championship series on Saturday on full rest. So that's the goal. The goal is obviously, and that's stating the obvious, to win 3 in a row. But if you don't, then you've got to roll through Thursday with the championship series starting on Saturday. So that's how this schedule works out. It's more a conversation for Monday when we know the result of this game. But I will tell you, I mentioned this on my daily show on Friday. If LSU wins tonight, I will be broadcasting from right here in my normal 1 to 3 slot on Monday. If LSU loses tonight and plays at 1 o'clock, I'm going to go cover the game for LouisianaSports.net. I'll do some post-game with what's going on AFR, and you'll have Taylor Sharp in on Monday during LSU's game. I'll be talking a lot of football. So that's the plan from our perspective. Let's hope LSU wins it, and I'm right back in this chair on Monday getting ready to talk about what would likely be LSU and UCLA as the Bruins lead 6-2 in the 7th. All right, one little piece of this game that I haven't talked about that I want to speak on, and then we'll get to Michael Cauble here in a few minutes. And Moose, I'll get your thoughts on this in totality once I make my observation and my point. The likelihood, based on the way things have been for 2 months, is that Josh Pearson's going to start this game in right field. That's because Zach Root's left-handed, and he's the starting pitcher for Arkansas. And when LSU faces a left-handed pitcher, Jake Brown sits and Josh Pearson plays right field. But you're looking at Gabe Gackle coming out of the bullpen at some point when Zach Root is done. That's what Arkansas has done in all of Root's start. Gackle is their best bullpen weapon. He's right-handed. He's got a great slider, good fastball. He's excellent. And he's probably the next guy up. That might be the 5th inning. It might be the 8th inning, but he's probably the next guy up. At that point, if you see an at-bat coming from Michael Braswell or Josh Pearson, you might see Jake Brown. And coming off the bench in a huge spot against a big right-handed bullet, could be a pivotal point in this game. Now, you can argue that Jake Brown should be in the starting lineup, and I'm not going to have that discussion. That's already been decided. Like Jay Johnson's going to put Josh Pearson in there. Busso, I know your host on AFR has made his point very clear about what he thinks that Jake Brown should be in the lineup. But I think that a big spot in this game could arise with Gabe Gackle on the mound in a tight game and a Jake Brown pinch hit spot, and that's something to very much keep tab on as you move into the late innings. I'm assuming, Musso, you're on my page where you think Pearson starts this game. My question would be, do you think he hits first with Curiel bumping down, or do you think that Curiel proved himself last week? He'll be in the leadoff spot. And do we think that Jake Brown could be in a monster spot tonight?
I think Jake Brown will be in a monster spot tonight. I think Josh Pearson will start the ball game. And there's a lot of reasons why that should be the case. I mean, everyone's talked a lot about the 8 guys who are on this team in 2023. None of them that will make an impact in this College World Series made as big of one in the last one as Josh Pearson did. He's familiar with the outfield there, although he played left obviously last time, and that is the Sun Field.
It is
at the Chuck, but he's familiar with the outfield. That makes a lot of sense. As far as Curiel, look, Jay Johnson out of his own mouth after I believe it was after the Super Regional, said that Derek Curiel is the engine that makes the offense go. And boy, does that ever back up the stat that you threw out earlier about him hitting 398 and wins. That guy's got to be at the top of my lineup. He just does. I understand the struggles that he's had against lefties. Like, I get it, especially down the stretch of the season. But if he's the engine of your lineup, I want him up there at the top. He's the best at bat. Like, outside of Steven Milam and where he's going right now, and Milam never strikes out, Derek Curiel is the best at bat in LSU's lineup. I want that guy, especially LSU visitor tonight, especially starting the game. That's where I would have him. But yes, I'm also very much with you on Brown. And Brown's plus right-handed pitching. Like, it's like the right-handed Slayer. Like, that guy, I have full confidence in him coming up in that moment and delivering.
We shall see if that happens. You make a great point about the Sunfield. I was actually out there last night for first pitch. I was in left field, just kind of checking it out. I'd never been at that vantage point. I sat down on the first base line and up on the third base line in 2023, and I was in the press box in 2013. But I'd never been out in the outfield, so I wanted to catch a couple of innings from the outfield. That sun is brutal in left field in that night game, and Josh Pearson has seen that. Derek Curiel has not. An Arkansas's left fielder has not. So just keep that in mind with the sun field out there and left. Like, things can get really dicey. And we saw Florida's left fielder lose the ball in the sun. I believe game 1 of the championship series. Game 2 of the championship series last year before Florida floodgates opened. They misplayed a ball out there in left field. Defense is a big deal, and these two teams are elite defensively. Arkansas leads the country in fielding. They've been awesome, and we know that LSU's defense has been sensational. Steven Milam only has 5 errors on the season, and 2 of them were in the same game back in the Super Regional. But you've got to get the outs when the ball's in play. Giving one of these two offenses 28, 29, 30 outs to play with, if you can't make routine plays and get the job done defensively, is a recipe for disaster. And I think both of these teams know that. And all season long, they've been awesome defensively. So I don't expect that to be a big issue in the game, but it's always something to keep an eye on with the defenses. These two teams both field over 980, so they're very, very, very good from a defensive perspective. As I mentioned to start this segment, UCLA leads Murray State 6-2. The Racers have steadied things a little bit. Got that 6-0 lead to 6-2, and they've got a couple of guys on with just one out in the 7th. UCLA is cycling through those bullpen arms. They've got a lot of guys that have done a really good job out of the bullpen. Their starting rotation, in my opinion, is not very good. I'm just stunned by the fact that they sent their top 2 starters out in the regional round against Fresno State and Arizona State, and neither of them recorded a strikeout. That just blows my mind from a box score perspective. They're not a pitching staff that gets a lot of swing and miss, but their bullpen has been good, and it was great in the Super Regional against UTSA last week. They shut them out. So, Murray just tagged one. Is that out of here? Let me do a little play-by-play. See, that's important. Murray State just hit an absolute missile to right field, and it didn't even get to the track. That's the way the ball is playing today, and it's similar to the way the ballpark was playing yesterday. So that's a perfect little segue here as I kind of wrap my thoughts on this game. We'll get to Michael Cauble in a second. But the park is playing massive right now. It doesn't. We saw in the championship series 2 years ago, once that wind turns around, if it does, the ball can fly. It's not right now. Murray State got a hanging breaking ball there and just put a great swing on it, and the right fielder caught it at the track. So it's going to be difficult to run the ball out of the yard. You got to manufacture offense some way or somehow. If you got to lay a bunt down here or there, maybe squeeze a run home. If you need to steal a bag, like you need to create some things. That's tough to do. 2 left-handed starters go steal a base. Well, guys, those kind of pick-off moves are looking at you. But just waiting around for somebody to hit it over the fence, it might be a long wait. So interesting to look at that. I saw the flags on an earlier TV show. That crystallized it because that was a great Murray State swing by a left-handed hitter. I have no idea if he's got a lot of power or not, but he hit it really hard, and it didn't carry much at all. So something to keep an eye on with LSU and Arkansas tonight. 2 teams that can hit the ball out of the ballpark with anybody in the country, but you've got to manufacture some runs in the game tonight, so that's something worth monitoring. We got 30 minutes left to go. We'll take a timeout, come back with Michael Cauble for a team center. He watched the team get on the bus a little bit earlier. He's at Charles Schwab Stadium, so we'll chat with Cauble when we come back.
Hot days, cool deals are heating up at Jim's Firearms. Score weekly savings, free gear, and ammo perks on top brands you trust all summer long. New deals drop every week, so there's always something locked, loaded, and ready for you. Hit the range or the woods ready to roll. Shop now at jimsfirearms.net.
At Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, we know how important it is to make confident choices when it comes to your next vehicle. That's why we're proud to offer our Customer First Promise. For a limited time, MSRP of all new 2025 Mercedes-Benz vehicles will remain the same with no price increase until further notice. Plus, we have an excellent selection of our two most popular models, the stylish GLC and the versatile GLE. Both are ready to elevate your driving experience with performance and luxury. Come visit us today to experience the luxury and reliability of a Mercedes-Benz.
No child should ever go hungry. Yet here in Louisiana, 1 in 4 children are not able to access 3 meals a day. It's just not right. Your Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank distributes food at no cost to over 140 local pantries who are fighting hunger in our neighborhood communities, and we need your support. Join us today by volunteering time, hosting a food drive, or donating online to provide meals for those who are food insecure. Learn more at brfoodbank.org.
River Parish Contractors is South Louisiana's leader in industrial construction and turnaround services. They employ loyal, local talent who are dedicated to quality projects that are safely executed on time and done your way. With River Parish Contractors, they can assist you with industrial projects that stay within budget and on schedule. What sets them apart is their ability to respond and get the job done right. Come take a tour of their impressive facility in St. John Parish or visit rpcontractors.com.
As we all live longer, age is really just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones Financial Advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement so we can help you get there. Together, we can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call your local Edward Jones office to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In Baton Rouge, call Tyler Juneau. In Central, call Chris Baker. In New Roads, call Dean Martin.
Recall alert? Due for an oil change? Brakes louder than the kids in the back? Bayou Ford can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same-day service. Schedule now at BayouFord.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Are you ready to buy land, but just not sure where to start? Then you need to call me, Tommy Marsh, at First South Farm Credit in Thibodaux. At First South, we specialize in financing rural land and offer terms up to 30 years. Even if you're buying property out of state, we have a loan program that's right for you. So when you're ready to become a landowner, make First South your first call. Find us online at firstsouthland.com.
Volunteers stand up for children in need, providing a powerful voice in court. These dedicated individuals ensure that every child has a safe and loving home. By becoming a court-appointed special advocate, you can make a real difference in a child's life. Imagine being the one who helps a child find their forever family, the one who stands by them through tough times, and the one who ensures their voice is heard. It's a rewarding experience that changes lives, both theirs and yours. To learn more, visit childadv.net.
In the heart of Louisiana, your dreams meet the sky. We invite you to a world of boundless possibilities, where the sky isn't the limit, but the beginning of your journey. We don't just teach aviation. We ignite a passion for the extraordinary. We believe in the thrill of adventure and the joy of soaring above it all. Aviation Academy of Louisiana, where dreams take flight. Start your adventure today.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hun Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hun Palmer here with you from the Ameristar Casino Hotel and Resort here just outside the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. US Open is on in here, the College World Series cranking up, and a lot of folks about to head across the river to Omaha to watch LSU and Arkansas under the lights. Michael Cauble will be there. In fact, he's probably there right now. Sports director over at Channel 2. Good enough to give us a little bit of time. What's your location, sir?
I am walking around the concourse. About
So did you watch the team leave the hotel? What's the vibe like? What's the purple and gold presence downtown?
Yeah. Here, but they're set to get to the stadium around 4:15, I think, which is 45 minutes from now. So I don't know. The vibe's good, obviously. It's pretty hard to walk. Murray is out on the field right now, taking on UCLA. 6-2 ball game. They get the beat. Error-free ball so far, but yeah, a lot of purple and gold, a lot of Arkansas fans, a lot of Arkansas fans. So they taking themselves by Rocco's earlier, definitely red and purple. So we'll see how that transpires for the rest of the night.
This is just my hunch. I have nothing to back this up at all. Feels like 23 was the perfect storm, where it was the longest Omaha drought in 30 years. We had crews and schemes, and it felt like that was when everybody was going to go. Charles Andrews said he's been coming up here for 30 years, and that was the biggest opening weekend turnout he'd ever seen from LSU fans when I was here for the championship game. It was just flooded with purple and gold. Do you feel like it might be a little bit of a step back from that this year in terms of LSU attendance?
Probably. I mean, it's like when you do Mardi Gras, right? If you have like a really good Mardi Gras trip, go back and do it again. I think 2023 is probably the best Mardi Gras trip anybody's going to have in college football series. So I'm sure there's some of that, right? I'm going to grab a seat here and I'll be my writer drinking it. So yeah, it's pretty loud. So yeah, no, I definitely think that there's a drop off. I think the wide open field has certainly made it a lot more interesting for baseball fans to get out here and see, any team, all teams. As far as LSU fans, I mean, there's a ton here. There'll be a ton here. I just think Arkansas and LSU are so far ahead of the class when it comes to that.
Yep.
And expectations and kind of understanding what everything looks like, that it's just going to be nuts tonight. And that was, I've already seen it. Like, I'm going to tweet this out later because I know what this is like. So, rooms that we work in, there's like nobody for this game. There's obviously probably no TV coverage in LA. And I don't know if
with Murray, Kentucky.
Yeah, I've seen that Murray before. I've been to their campus actually. So, yeah, not a ton of local TV or media in that area.
So I'm curious your Kate Anderson, just so good all year, and then the stat line not great last week. Now I'll ask you what you made of that outing. Got through 7 innings, but it wasn't necessarily pretty at the end. I think that was the indication of the score. You think he just wasn't at his best, and how do you feel about his effort tonight?
Oh, I think it was exactly what you knew it was, man. I mean, you talked about it on your show. The weather conditions, taking a rocket back on his pitching arm. I mean, honestly, I think in hindsight, we'll look back at it and be like amazed at how much of a solid performance that was because of 106 pitches, something like that. In those conditions, I mean, you saw West Virginia's pitching melt. So I think it was great. I think he wasn't happy, right? I mean, like, you never had somebody shut down a question like he did when I asked him about like did you get in the arm and actually looking stronger after that. But no, I think that's what it is. Music. No, I mean, I think he was nailed. I think he did exactly what he wanted to go that distance and have that longevity. I think that was the difference. You didn't beat him, right? But you got into a real series again. The Mountaineers did. I think would have had a lot more teeth to it.
Lucer and I were talking a little earlier about who you trust to come close this game out tonight if it's in the 8th and 9th innings. Do you have a thought on that? Or Jason Evans?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of who you can't trust. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You're okay.
Okay. I think it's a little bit more who you can't trust. You'd like to get in a low leverage situation where you throw him out there and you can see what he can kind of bounce back with the confidence. You see him tail off the way he has the last month, but there's no denying that, right? Like, as much as Evans, George, and Cooper Williams have come on, that talent takes it off. So I think it's baseball, right? How long are they going to get how long are you going to get out of Anderson?
Yeah.
We'll dictate who they bring in. Do they need to bring in Cooper Lewis for a little bit more longer relief? Going to use Casey Evans each one inning and it's big short, 100. So, I mean, with Jay, it's always situational. Everybody always tries to predict. But you've got to understand it's going to be what that game calls for them to win the game. That's what Jay's going to do. Now, he's not going to do stupid, like, if they're anything out there. Because he also understands the second game, right? But, like, it's a little bit more space in the College World Series this year between games. They're set up a little bit deeper than they've probably ever been. It's a starter pretty good. And he said it the other day, right? You were in the press conference. Going into the losers bracket isn't a death penalty anymore. He doesn't want to do that. But I think, like you said, they're set up a little bit better if that is a potential.
Last thing, I talked about it from far away and watching on TV. You're obviously in the ballpark. Give me a wind report. What do those flags look like, and what's the ballpark playing like today?
Right now, blowing straight in. I'm in center field in there, blowing straight in. It's hot as a mug out here.
Yep.
It's pretty crowded. Sunny sky, a little bit of haze. But yeah, I expect it to be blowing in tonight too, right? And so, with the pitchers, quality that they have in the ball game, everybody's probably expecting a 3-1, 3-1, 4-3 kind of ball game. So, I don't think there's been a home run here today. I know there was yesterday. I've kind of been watching it off and on in this ball game, but where are we at? We're in the 8th inning.
Yep.
Murray up to the plate, and it's 6-2 Bruins right now. But yeah, I mean, and what did we like that we saw in the LSU offense? A little bit towards the end of the regional and super regional. Milam coming on, Eric Jones getting low line drives, taking the walk, but the patience that we've seen. You get those two dudes doing what we know they're capable of doing, and this LSU offense is really good. I mean, Stanfield, had a little bit of pop in his bat. You think Derek Curry will come back along. So, it just makes for what should be a fantastic college baseball game. And it's exciting that it is Saturday night, in prime time. Hopefully, we'll get what we expected. Right? We did the last 123 when that team louder and all the hype around that one. So hopefully we'll get this great game here tonight.
We certainly hope so. I'll see you out there in a little bit. Thanks for some time, Cobble.
Absolutely. Take care, Hunter.
Michael Cauble, sports director at WBRZ over there at Charles Schwab Field, watching Murray State and UCLA in Game 1 of this day. So I think that's probably the most important thing that I've conveyed to you here with all the statistics I've thrown at you and hypotheticals I've thrown at you and matchups and all this. The most important thing is the wind's howling in right now. So you're really going to struggle to hit the ball out of the ballpark if you don't hug one of the fouls. And you're going to have to manufacture runs against really good pitchers to strike a lot of people out. So I think that the under is probably the play. I saw it listed in here at 9.5 in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. I think that's probably an underplay for me if I were a wagering. So I think that's a big storyline. You know that the ballpark plays two different ways. And when that wind is whipping in, it can be very, very difficult to generate a lot of offense. And then when Kate Anderson and Zach Ruder pitching, it's very difficult to generate a lot of offense. So fired up to get over there and watch this one tonight. We've got one more break, one more segment to go here from the Ameristar, getting ready for LSU and Arkansas in this special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
Be honest, is your ride ready for the heat?
That's not the heat I had in mind.
This heat is brutal, but you can be in a much cooler spot with Alpha Customs window tinting.
This is so much better.
Make things cooler with Alpha Customs window tinting.
Besides, what goes on in the cab stays in the cab.
Alpha Customs in Perryville and Lafayette.
Also offering deadliners that start at $388. Wheels, tires, suspension, and accessories.
And everywhere at alphacustoms.net.
Looking for a new job? River Parish Contractors has lots of upcoming turnarounds and project work in 2025. Submit your application today at rpcontractors.com to get on the call list. RPC is a large local workforce that is constantly growing, and they're looking for talented pipe fitters, iron workers, equipment operators, rig welders, civil carpenters, and general labor. And you don't have to travel to have a career. Our jobs are close to home. Come join the team. Give Big Jake a call or apply online at rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com.
What does it mean to be your largest locally owned bank? It means being more than a bank. My friends at Gulf Coast Bank and Trust are partners, neighbors, and advocates for local success. From healthcare to education to energy and everything in between. Large and small businesses alike, Gulf Coast Bank fuels growth and progress with smart banking solutions. You want a bank that cares about you? Get to know Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, and let's make it happen. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
This is Ben McDonald for First South Farm Credit. If you're looking to buy or refinance land, you need to make First South your first call. First South's been financing rural land for over 100 years, so they have the experience you expect from a land lender. And with flexible terms for up to 30 years and competitive rates, they can build a loan package that's right for you. Whether it's 20 acres in St. Francisville or 120 acres in Mississippi, make First South your first call when financing land. Visit firstsouthland.com.
Ready for a dining experience that's worth the drive? Head to Central and discover Stab's Steak and Seafood. At Stab's, we serve the finest steaks and freshest seafood, all prepared to perfection. We specialize in creating intimate, memorable moments where you can enjoy our cozy atmosphere, exceptional service, and a menu that has it all. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts and everything in between. Stab's Steak and Seafood. And remember, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Stab's Steak and Seafood in Central or online at stabcentral.com.
Baton Rouge, you know that feeling of relief when you find the perfect house, but then the closing process hits you like, hold on, don't let paperwork steal your joy. At Mid-City Title, we offer personalized attention to your transaction and mobile services for your convenience. With interest rates dropping, there's no better time to invest. Mid-City Title, we handle all your real estate closing needs. Visit us online at midcitytitle.com or on Government Street in Mid-City. Let's get you moving.
Turnaround season is here, and for any upcoming turnaround projects, choose the expert at the Advanced Turnaround Group from Action Industries. The Advanced Turnaround Group provides unmatched experience in turnaround management, specialty welding services, and personalized attention. With 24-hour emergency availability, trust the Advanced Turnaround Group, whose entire careers focus on turnaround excellence. Learn more at actionindinc.com, the Advanced Turnaround Group, subsidiary of Action Industries.
This summer just got lit. For a limited time, in May, June, and July, dine in and enjoy our happy hour, which includes half-off two-topping pizzas, wines, long necks, and draft beer. These happy hour deals are available Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. this summer. Two-topping pizzas include sauce, cheese, two toppings, and finishes. No additional toppings or substitutions, please. Slow down this summer and enjoy our delicious deals.
This All Eyes on Omaha special pregame show with Hunt Palmer is powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody.
And by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight.
On Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Winding things down here from the Ameristar Casino and Resort in Council Bluffs, just across the Missouri River from Omaha, Nebraska, where tonight it's LSU and Arkansas, 6 o'clock first pitch, 5:30 pregame. If you're listening right now on Eagle 98.1, just leave it right there. We'll be back with you at 5:30. It'll be Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers, Bill Franquez, and myself from the press box, and Charles Schwab bringing you the radio broadcast. Again, pregame 30 minutes before first pitch at 5:30. Very excited to get in there and make that happen a little bit later. But it's been a fun 2 hours here. I am reminded every time I come to Omaha just how much I love this event and the way the town throws its arms around it. I've been in a lot of Ubers over the last 3 days, and every time the Uber driver says, "Oh, we love when LSU comes here. It's so great. There's so many people. Y'all are so nice and so much fun." And everybody loves when y'all are here. And that's the general vibe you get walking around the stadium and jumping into the restaurants. I'm always thrilled to hop into Barrett's, which I did today for lunch, and it was just great. I walked in and immediately 20 LSU fans flooded the place, and we're enjoying some beverages, some good food, and getting ready for a big day. Last night for the first time went over to Fan Fest. It's just an incredible event they've got over there. They got a big Ferris wheel. They've also got great things for the kids to do. They got a home run derby the kids can play, throwing footballs. I got a buddy that had his two kiddos here that are both under 8. He had them get the Stephen Milam do. They got their hair bleached and dyed purple and gold. And then the bars and restaurants around the stadium are just generally a really good time, and everybody's going to go in tonight and be fixated on what should be an incredible ball game. I come back to this, and this is where I'm drawing my confidence from. Cade Anderson has taken the baseball 17 times this year for LSU. The Tigers are 15-2 when he takes the ball. When he's on the mound, LSU is as good as anybody. He lost a heartbreaker, a 3-1 game against Texas A&M, and then LSU got beat on the Plains when he was on the mound in an 8-4 game where Auburn got after him a little bit, 4 1/3 innings, and he gave up 6 earned runs. So, but it's been really good for Cade all year long. And just 2 weeks ago in the regional, he took on a Dallas Baptist lineup that's got some good numbers, and he completely put them in a blender. 7 innings, shutout ball on 4 hits. In that game, he had 11 strikeouts and just 2 walks. He had a run of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9 starts where he struck out double-digit hitters. And Cade Anderson tonight, on his second strikeout, will seize the national lead in strikeouts for the season. He won't relinquish that unless Anthony Ianson strikes out about 60 while he's here, because Liam Doyle's season is done, and that's who Cade Anderson will catch with his first strikeout tonight and will pass with his second strikeout tonight. And I talked about this at the top of the show. Big key for Cade Anderson tonight is finding that punch out and locating that pitch, whether it's the high fastball, the breaking ball down, to get the punch out when Arkansas gets guys on base, because they're going to get guys on base. This is one of the best lineups in the country. They mash lefties. They're 7th in the country in OPS against left-handed pitching. It's a very, very good team. And they're going to get some guys on base. They're going to hit some balls hard, but they strike out. That's the kryptonite for this Arkansas team. They will swing and miss. Both the Lloyd brothers swing and miss a good bit. Brett Iredale swings and misses a good bit. You can get them with strikeout, and when they get guys on base, you got to find the punch out. That's just huge for Cade Anderson tonight. And look, as of his second strikeout tonight, no one in college baseball will have done that more. So how could you feel any better about that? I wish last week Cade Anderson had not given up 6 earned runs. Like that would be preferable. But you just heard me 15 minutes ago do a segment on how there is no momentum in the sport. You just got to go out there and be good the next day. And Cade Anderson is focused. He's an incredibly hard worker. He's wanted this stage his entire life, being from Madisonville and growing up a Tiger fan. And he gets his opportunity on the stage that's the biggest in the sport at Charles Schwab Field. He'll go out there tonight with a really good team behind him, and LSU is 15-2 when Cade Anderson takes the baseball. Zach Root has been great as well for Arkansas. Early in the season, a couple teams got after him. Ole Miss knocked him around a little bit. They did that in the regular season and in the SEC tournament. And LSU saw him back in early May when he worked 6 innings of 2-run baseball in that game before LSU kind of got to the bullpen. This is something I opened the show with today. The Tigers are going to have a tough at-bat in every at-bat in this game, because it's the first game of the College World Series, so every Arkansas arm is fresh. So you're going to see some really, really talented hurlers throughout the game, even if you get Root out of the game. I think you're going to see Gabe Gackle, who's got 78 strikeouts in 62 1/3 innings. You could see Parker Coyle, who has been devastating on left-handers. You could see Cole Gibbler, whose last 5 outings, he's thrown 9 shutout innings from the left side. Christian Fouch throws nearly 100 miles an hour. Aiden Jimenez has been phenomenal all year long for this Arkansas team. So you've got a really tough group of arms to go at from an offensive perspective, but I don't think that tonight's going to call for a ton of offense. When you look at the way the ballpark is playing and you look at the pitching that you're going to see from both teams, it feels to me like this is probably going to come down to what team gets the big hit into the gap in the 7th or 8th inning to tilt the scoreboard. You saw it yesterday with the big swing from Coastal into the gap to play a pair and to stretch that lead to a spot where Arizona couldn't come back. Saw it in the nightcap with a furious rally there from Louisville, and then boom, the walk-off double by Oregon State down the left field line. Like, those are the big hits. It's not the Tommy White walk-off home run. That's probably not in the cards tonight. You've got to hit the ball on a line into the gap. You think about Ethan Fry's huge swing in the game against Little Rock on Monday. That split the gap and scored 3 runs. You think about Stephen Milam spinning on one last weekend in the Super and driving it down into the right field corner and clearing the bases. Those are the types of swings, down and hard, that you're going to have. And I feel like this game's probably going to come down to a 4-3, 4-2, 3-1 type game. And it's just going to be who gets that big swing late in the game. Musso, I know we got about 2 minutes here. Your final thought and a pick for tonight?
Yeah, I like LSU. I would say I like. They don't have as the most utmost confidence in that pick as I would have had at other points during this season. but it's solely based on Cade Anderson. I like him a little bit better than Zach Root. He's projected a top 5 pick for a reason. I mean, I think he's actually a top 5 pick at this point. And the bounce back has been pretty strong for them. You know, you go back to the Mississippi State game, 4 1/3, 5 earned. Next week, complete game shutout of Oklahoma, 5 2/3, 5 earned against Alabama. The next week, 7 1/3, 2-run ball against Tennessee. I would expect something very similar from him tonight. I think he's going to go out there and be locked in. I'm expecting a really good outing, and I think LSU can get that one big swing. So, game starts and ends on the mound for me, and I like Anderson out of the group.
Going to be just a classic. I am so excited to be in that ballpark tonight. I know there are a lot of LSU fans that are feeling that as well. If you're back home and lock us in, we appreciate you hanging out with us on this Saturday. And I know there will be a lot of anxious folks huddled around televisions down in Louisiana watching this one tonight. But we wouldn't have it any other way this time of year. This is the best. It was a phenomenal run in 2023. It's time to start another one here tonight for LSU and Arkansas. First pitch a little bit after 6 o'clock. We'll have the pregame on the network at 5:30. Myself, Chris Blair, and Bill Franquez. Appreciate the folks at the Ameristar here in Council Bluffs for making us welcome, and we love this spot. And hopefully we're here all long. If LSU wins tonight, I'll be here at 1 o'clock on Monday. If LSU drops it, they will play on Monday at 1 o'clock, and you'll have Taylor Sharp in my spot. I'll be covering the game. We're here as long as LSU is, which we hope is a very, very long time. We've done all we can do. We've previewed. I appreciate Michael Cauble for joining us. Thanks to Andrew Hutcherson for joining us from Best of Arkansas Sports. Pete Flaherty from Baseball America as well. Been a fun 2 hours, but we have done everything we can do. So now it's time to pack all this up and go across the river and watch 2 of the best teams in college baseball, a monster College World Series game. Appreciate y'all being with us. Come on, Tigers. Let's get it done tonight from Omaha. Thanks, Rizzo.
Supreme service, supreme savings, and supreme selection, all at Supreme Chevrolet in Dallas. From the